Good afternoon, guys. Just thought I'd show you what's going on this weekend. As always, you just never get enough done. What I really wanted to do was restain these logs. So I got some color match stuff. It works pretty good. I ended up getting some chinking, and I filled some of the cracks in around the windows. And but as you can see, it's just neglect from the last owners that were here. They haven't done a whole lot of restoration to it, but we'll make it nice and shiny again. I started taking the pool down. It is a pain in the butt. It's hot. The bugs are bad. I'm just poking away at it, seeing what I can do. Whether it runs into next weekend or not, we'll see. Can't do everything. But once it's done, what I plan on doing is getting into these trees here. I'm going to leave the maple. I'm going to take down the spruce and the balsam and then do some landscaping in through here. And next year, just because of the characteristics of the soil, I want to put in a potato garden. And as you can see, it's pretty ugly. It's right in the middle of taking everything down, and it's a little too windy tonight to burn, so we may have to put it off to tomorrow night to burn, but we'll see. I didn't realize a pool there's not much to an above ground pool. It hasn't been used for years and years and years. These boards, they don't look like much, but they're going to finish my shop, and I can show you what that's going to be like. But yeah, it's these people just kind of left the electrical in place. So I'm gonna have to cut that and turn the power off and probably pull it right up. I think it comes right in through here, the conduit, and I'll end it in there somewhere and then just put a junction box and tie it off. So and isolate it and hit the breaker. But I wanted to also talk a little bit about the garden. So this is the first year for the garden. Didn't know where to put it. We picked here just because of the sunshine, and that big pine right there has got to come down. It's got some pine bugs in it here now, and pine worms, whatever that disease is. It's hurting the tree bad. But for future, my carport, I'm going to be a pole carport. It's going to go in here. It's probably going to be 30-35 feet long. Probably 16 to 18 feet wide. It just depends on what the trees are. I'm not going to be too particular about it. I'm going to cut my trees this fall, which are pretty much all those pine. I'm going to make a pole barn type carport. So anyways, back, I know it's back, I'm jumping around right here a little bit, but back to the garden, everything, now you know why everything makes sense. That's kind of why I put the garden here. Sun rises over in the east, and then you can get all day sun and you can follow it around, and when that little bit of trimming's done, I'm going to be in full sun here, and hopefully I'll shoot the potato garden off. And it doesn't have to be big, maybe 20 by 20. We got the characteristic of the soil here is a little on the sand, but it's got good organic content. But I am excited about the garden. I have to thank a speaker that I've been watching quite a bit. His name's Gabe Brown, and he's talked a lot about regenerative gardening. Basically, what I want to do here is go to a no-till system, and I personally believe that's the way to go. Let's leave some of the good fungi and microbiology in the ground without killing it. I've been playing around a little bit with some pine shavings, very light. You can't bury pine shavings because it'll steal nitrogen from the ground, but you can add to the top. So what I've been using is fresh, a little bit, like very, 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 a little bit of chicken scat in the bedding itself, and then just putting it between the rows, hopefully for weed suppression, and then natural fertilizer as well. I'm not too worried about the chickens being in the garden. I thought it was going to be a little bit of concern, but I have been watching them very closely, and they're not scratching, they're not bathing that much in the dirt, but what they are doing is eating the bugs. So I figured, what the heck, let it go. And if they just continue doing that through their life cycle, they can be in my garden whenever they want. But if I'm surprised, like the little sprouts, the little guys, they haven't really touched them. But you can see they go through everything. They pick the ants, they pick the bugs, and as long as they keep doing that, I'm okay with them being in the garden. And they poop a little bit and just help things. Chicken fertilizer is really hot, so you got to be careful with it. So kind of back on what I was saying, you don't want to have laced bedding. It's just too hot. The ground can't handle it, and you'll burn your plants out. But back to the no-till garden. Pretty much what I want to do is establish a compost pile and then add 3 or 4 inches to this year. So when whatever we get is a bonus this year. My expectations are low, so I'm not really going to cry the blues if we don't get anything. However, a little bit of fresh food would be nice. I think we're going to get some. We had a pretty late start here. We only lost the snow here in mid-May. You can see the peas and the everything seems to be growing pretty good here. Peas and the onions. I know you can't plant peas to get onions together, but I put a row of spinach between them to separate them. And this was just a trial garden anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, so back to get some compost on this. When I harvest, I'm gonna just cut the stuff off, except for the potatoes. You have to dig the potatoes, we all know that. And then cover it and plant through. And whatever I have, beans, peas, cabbage, spinach, whatever, I'm gonna leave the root structure and everything in here. And hopefully that helps the process along the way, and we get a really good established big garden here that we can self-sustain on. Like I said, it's year 1. We just got in here. We're just getting some things done. We're just getting things the way we want it, and you can't expect miracles in the first couple of years, but you can do your best, and that's all you can do. So back to those pool boards. I may have shown you this in another video, but this is what I'm doing. Place is a bit of a mess, so I apologize for it, but we're just moving stuff around and getting it ready. Those are the boards I'm going to use. I will have enough to come down and finish this and probably go a couple more rows, and then I'll get some strapping and just go vertical on it. I'll 2x4 around it and raise it and go from there. And yeah, this is one little lean-to. I keep my tractor in here, which I will do a review on. The tractor, probably the best thing I've ever bought in my life. We've got a few little toys in here. My son likes to bike. My cousin sold me that thing. Probably gave me a good deal. I couldn't resist. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. Again, we'll keep putting these videos out, primarily to document how things are coming and the journey along the way and the mistakes we can learn from. We're definitely going to make a bunch of them. And everybody have a good weekend and a safe back to work tomorrow. Take care.